and welcome back to another art time lapse. So for today, this is actually a remake of a previous artwork that I did. I didn't really like what I was painting and I thought I'll get back to it at some point, but unfortunately after over a year I still haven't, so I figured, you know what, it's time to move on. So I decided to repaint over this older piece, and I just want to show you how it goes from this piece that I'm trying to restore to like something completely different. Documenting this process, hoping to let other artists know that like not every single art piece comes out perfect. For myself, I've been painting for a number of years, and sometimes it's okay to go back and just like repaint it and do something completely different. Don't limit yourself that you have to finish every piece that you start off with. It's sometimes good to like have grit and just like keep trying at it, but if you've given yourself sufficient time to try it out and it still doesn't work, it's time to move on. Let it be. So this new piece that I'm working on is inspired by Studio Ghibli's Howl's Moving Castle, and this piece is called A Place with a View. So I'm starting off with just painting the sky and the clouds in the background before I put on the foliage for like the trees and the character itself. Because I previously painted something in the background, I needed to add in a lot of white to kind of cover what was there before, especially because I'm painting a sky of clouds, so I want it to be a little bit more lighter, kind of lit up, and with a darker green it just makes everything a little bit more dampened. So here you can see I'm using plenty of white acrylic wash to kind of lay out the backgrounds, and then I wanted these like lilac purple skies, so I'm mixing it in with my lilac and just painting in the clouds along with a blue sky in the background. For acrylic wash, I always start by painting from background to foreground. Acrylic wash does dry quite opaque, so as a result, I need to make sure that like I paint in the back first, and then anything I paint afterwards will cover up what my previous work was there. So that's the rationalization, that you always paint from back to foreground. So for this, you can see I've finished pretty much painting with the clouds, and now I'm making like note of where the mountains are and also where the trees are going to be. Now here I'm just playing around with colors. I'm very used to like pastel colors. I thought I'll try this highlighter pink color for the shadows of the trees. I think it gives a nice fluorescent glow that I normally don't have for some of my artwork. So I thought, why not try it out? And I'm going to match up some yellow autumn leaves, because right now it's autumn where I am, and the leaves and the foliage just looks magnificent with all the yellow and reds and greens mixed together. Looking across the expanse of fields, it's just looking amazing, like we're in a fairy tale. So here I'm using a combination of colors that I haven't used in a while, I would say, with like these purple, pinks, and blues and yellows. It's very different, and these colors just make me feel very happy, and it just brings joy to me. So here you can see once the previous layer dries, I'm adding on this like cooler tone yellow as opposed to a warm sunflower yellow to add highlights to the trees where the sun's just like glistening off the leaves, but at the same time I want to leave room so that the viewer can still see the glimpse of pink and highlighter pink that's in the back. So this takes quite a bit of time as I'm kind of doing little dabs and little dots slowly. This is a technique that I use often for doing foliage and trees and leaves, doing like really large shadows in the background, and then as I get closer to the foreground, do more details. Rather than like just big blotches of paint, I paint like little dots and little dabs here and there. I think it makes the piece a little bit more delicate, and it highlights some of the areas that is lit up by the sun very well. Here you can see the tree coming out nicely. Of course, I feel like this piece is lacking a little bit in terms of shadows. There's just a lot of highlights. So I will need to go back and add a bit of shadow in so that it stands out a little bit more, or else the tree blends in with the background. If you like the content on the channel, I do want to mention, please consider subscribing to the channel and giving this video a thumbs up. It really helps a lot. Thank you so much for considering. So I'm just gonna let you enjoy the rest of this painting process until I get to painting the main characters into this piece of artwork. So here I'm finished pretty much the background, just doing a little bit of foreground with some like grass that's growing wild in the front. And then I'm going to start on adding on the main character, which is going to be Sophie and Hal from Hal's Moving Castle. They're very miniature, as I want to show how small they are in this expansive, beautiful world, in this like place of nature. In this painting, I also want Sophie to be cradling Calcifer, the fire spirit, in her hands, as like Hal is looking on into her arms, and I thought that was like a really nice touch, how the two of them are embracing and like enjoying this period of time in nature and just admiring the beautiful view. So I think that's about it for this piece that I'm working on for this art time lapse inspired by Studio Ghibli's fan art. I would love to hear from you if there are other pieces or other animes that you feel inspired by, and add comments below or any ideas for future artwork I should work on. But with that said, thank you so much for joining me on this piece on A Place with a View, and hopefully I will see you next time in another art time lapse. Take care and stay creative, everyone. Bye for now.